Right, Monday, 8 p.m, Chelsea look to get back to winning ways when we take on Wolverhampton Wanderers at Stamford Bridge. We are now in desperate need of a win. I spoke about Newcastle breathing down our necks, and they're not even breathing down our necks anymore. They are looking in the rear view mirror at Chelsea Football Club. And Newcastle, by the way, have just put this Wolverhampton Wanderers side to the sword. So we need to speak about the game in today's video. Both myself and channel fan favourite, the big dog, the man, the myth, the legend, Joshua Aveste, are going to give our starting lineup picks. And as always, we'll top it off with a score prediction. Josh, just how much would it mean to you to get this win? Because my God, it has been a dry spell.
I think it could be cataclysmic if we don't win.
What on earth is cataclysmic?
End of the world.
Right.
End of the world kind of vibes. You know, I think if we don't win this game, I think we could start going down the Arsenal Fan TV route, you and I.
No
We
way.
could start literally just
Never.
venting. We could start slagging off the players. We could start going Maresca out.
Yeah, doing a DT. No, joking. We're only joking.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we could be in trouble. So
You know Troops from Arsenal Fan
God's
TV?
sake. Yeah.
Yeah. The first time I ever met him, only time I met him, it was before I had even had like talks of having a Misfits fight or anything like that.
Yeah.
And he's walked into we was recording at Rio Ferdinand's podcast studios.
Oh,
By
God,
the way,
yeah, your friend
big
Rio.
big up my actual friend Anton, who's smashing it on Dancing on Ice. Have you seen him?
No, I didn't know he was
oh
on
my
it.
God, bruv, watch Anton on Dancing on Ice.
Really?
Mate, my mate come in the other day and she showed me she went, oh, look, Anton's on, whatever. And I thought, oh, bless him, like he's going to fall over, he's going to whatever. He was sick. Anton Ferdinand can skate.
Can I just say,
my
I
friend.
respect anyone that does that show because, like, Strictly Come Dancing, I feel like anyone can, like, do
Anyone
a bit
can
of dancing.
dance.
But, like, learn how to ice skate and then also pirouette and do all the, like, that's serious.
Anton was
Respect
the
to that.
Shout out Anton Ferdinand.
Do you reckon you
legend.
could do it if you did some training?
No way. No way. I'm not a natural on ice.
The only time I did ice skating, I fell over so much I got bruised knees, which I didn't even know was possible. That was a bad day.
Not great. But going back to when I met Troops, so he come in, and this is before I'd ever done anything Misfits, not even spoke about anything Misfits. And Joel, it was like Joel, Harry Pinero, Troops, whatever. And Joel was like, oh, Troops, this is Joey. And he was like, yeah, I know you are, whatever. I was like, yeah, what's happening? You're right. And he went, you're a boxer. And I went, I used to be. And he was like, yeah, you look like one. And I'm like,
do you want to look like a boxer?
well, this is what I mean. I'm like, hold on, this is it's quite symmetrical.
Joey, it's the cheekbones.
Is that what it is?
It's the cheekbones. They're very pronounced.
Because obviously, me living my life, you know how often I get this, like all the time, and not people that actually know. Now, like, there's a couple of people who know me through boxing because I box on the zone and whatnot, but just always, I've always had people say it to me. I've always had people go to me, you're a fighter, you're a boxer. And I'm like, what about me looks like, I don't think I give off a violent vibe, do you?
I think it's the look in the eyes. Like, look down the camera right now. Like, you do you, and then I'll do my
I'm
look down the
do
camera.
you some serious arms.
Yeah. No, you can't say anything. You can't say anything. And I'm going to look down the camera.
What, just normal? No, you glare. You look really angry. Is that you're angry?
Yeah.
You look like you look like a cat or something when you do that. No, it's this. Look, go from yours. So that. Now go loving. No, as if you want to put a bird. Ooh. Right, anyway. Chelsea against Wolves.
That's going to age so badly, that one.
Listen.
Oh, dear.
Vitor Pereira. He hasn't actually had
Vitor.
He's had a mixed bag start to life at Wolverhampton Wanderers. He started off really well because he was winning his first two games, but then again they were quite easy games.
Who did he beat? Who was that?
Man United.
Yeah.
It's an easy game.
Yeah.
And someone else, relegation fodder. Don't know who.
Leicester, shitty.
Was it Leicester? There you go. And that actually equalled the amount of wins that they'd had for the season. So he's been there 6 games. I think he came in after 15 games and he's won 2 already, which equals the amount of games they'd won before that, which really does speak to how bad they had been.
The fact they could only put 2 goals at Spurs shows you how bad they are.
That shows it all. That shows it all.
It should be at least 7.
Now, though, they are without a winning 3. And the trend that they had all season, which was basically conceding a shitload of goals, hasn't really stopped.
Do you know what, though? The game that we played against them, I can't remember, we didn't score that many goals against them.
Did we? I'm trying to think. Did we?
Yeah.
Did we?
Didn't score that many
6.
goals.
6 goals
Oh, yeah,
it was.
6
Just
goals.
the 6.
Yeah.
Just the 6 away from home.
How many did we concede in that game?
Just 2.
Don't worry about that.
But don't worry about the
That's
ones we
actually
conceded.
2 goals conceded is actually quite good for us.
Yeah. No, we could have conceded 4 or 5 in that game. No, I remember that game. Like,
and that was with our good defence.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, last 3 games, they've shipped 8 goals. So I know we haven't really got our shooting boots on at the minute, but we do create chances for fun. And I would very much think that we should be able to get at this Wolves side. And they're like they're a roll the dice side, Wolves. You know what I mean?
What a nice catchphrase that is.
So there you go.
I want to live my life like that.
There you go. Roll the dice, see what you get, because you don't know with Wolves. Like, they're in the relegation zone, right?
Yeah.
And I think this stat must be one of the first times in Premier League history, maybe, that I could say this. They're in the relegation zone, yeah. There's only one team in the bottom half of the table that have scored less goals than them. So, Can I just put this into perspective? If a team were 13th or 14th, and I said, oh, there's only one team in the bottom half of the table that have scored more goals, it's not as, like, jaw-dropping. Wolves are odds on to get relegated at the minute, yeah? They're in the relegation zone, and there's only one team in the whole bottom half of the table that have scored more goals than them. By the way, there's actually a few teams in the top half of the table that haven't scored as many goals as them. So even the top half, but I'm just talking about the bottom half, that one team is actually Spurs have scored more goals
I
than
saw
Wolves.
that is insane.
Yeah. But
They've conceded a fuckload of goals as well. Haven't they got a minus goal difference, Spurs?
I mean, it's Spurs, isn't it? It's the way of Tottenham. It's the way of Tottenham.
No, it's actually plus 11. I just had a look. Plus 11 goal difference, Spurs. And they're
Really?
13th.
Yeah. And Wolves is really bad. But what I'm saying is, we've been beat by Ipswich. Do you know what I mean? So I think that we need to really be fearing every team at the moment. But if you're a Wolves fan, you've got to have some sort of hope at the fact that you are outscoring the other teams in that relegation mix. You know, the likes of Southampton and Leicester and Ipswich and Everton and Man United. You're outscoring those other relegation sort of mixed teams. So that there will go in their favour, and that will give them optimism. They have got players that can definitely cause us threats. A player that I was wrong on, Cunha.
Yeah. Cunha looks fucking brilliant.
Do you know what? Actually,
he'd be quite a good buy for us, Cunha.
Yeah, I remember calling him a flop, and there's a clip that went viral of me calling him an absolute flop, because in his first season he looked rubbish. But also, not just
that
him,
was an error.
The big lad up top. I know he's Strand Larsen. I know his numbers might not be prolific or anything, but I think that he, with players like Cunha playing off of him and some of the other attackers they've got, I think that he can hold up the ball well, and I think that he can give our backline a few problems in this game. But either way, we've got to get back to winning ways, haven't we?
Would Nori get in our team?
Would who?
Nori, the left back. Would he be in the squad?
No left back gets in ahead of Cucurella.
Cucurella is that.
Isn't he in a squad? Yeah, I mean, loads of players are in a squad, but you wouldn't
is he better than Vega?
I could picture Vega in a Wolves kit.
I could too.
I could picture him playing for Wolves.
I could totally see him.
And he's Portuguese, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is Portuguese.
Buy him if you want.
Call it. Or just do 6 months loan.
But just quickly, do you rate yourself as a bit of a football expert? Do you reckon you know your stuff? Do you reckon you could put your money where your mouth is? Well, then you should try out StakeMate. StakeMate is obviously my go-to betting app because you can bet together with your mates in the group chat. And when you do that, you can get boosted odds every single time. And it's not just me that loves StakeMate, by the way. It's so many of you. Just go on the App Store. They have got an average rating of 4.8. And I'm guessing you've heard of Sport Bible. Well, they love it too because they wrote this article about how StakeMate is the future of betting. And if you sign up to StakeMate using the link in the description below, you will get £20 in free bets when you bet just a tenner. And they're offering even more bonuses as you play. But that's not all. StakeMate have even set us up with the exclusive Joey Night Squad channel. And that's where you can chat with myself and the big dog. You can swap bets, place those bets, and hopefully, as many of you have been, win a lot of money. So how do you get involved in the Joey Night Squad? Well, it's very, very simple. All you need to do is download the app from the link in the description. You must be 18 years old or over and living inside the UK. The sign-up process is really easy. Once you download the app, you click on squads. Then you click invite code and type in JOEYK. Once you've done that, you will officially be a member of the Joey Night Squad. And we've got over 100 of you already in there, and so many of you already winning. Huge shout out to Connor, who is absolutely raking it in. He won about 890 quid this week. Not only that, that same Connor won 800 quid a few weeks ago. So to be honest, I'd just be copying Connor's bets if I was you. But why don't I provide my accumulator that I'm going to put on this weekend, and if you fancy copying it, you can do so. So I'm going to back David Moyes' Everton to get a win against Tottenham. Brighton, I think they're going to upset Man United. They usually do. Nottingham Forest are obviously going to beat Southampton. And Man City, unfortunately, will probably beat Ipswich. And at the time of recording, by putting just £5 on that, I stand to win over 70 quid. So hit the link in the description if you want to join the group. And remember, you need to use my invite code if you want to join the Joey Night Squad. The invite code is JOEYK. Huge shout out to StakeMate for their continued support with the channel. And remember, you must be 18 years old or over. You must be living inside the UK. And most importantly, we all must remember to gamble responsibly. You know, before we beat Wolves earlier on, well, should we say beat? Demolished?
Destroyed.
Humiliated?
Yeah, just thrashed.
Pummeled?
Obliterated.
Oh, I was going to use obliterated. Castrated?
Castigated. That's a different meaning.
I can't go any more than that. But we did well. That was dictionary corner
or did
there.
you have battered?
Battered?
Battered cod.
Yeah. Battered.
Is that how you like your cod?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do like it like
Favourite fish and chip fish?
I like a sole.
You've got a lot of soul.
No, but haddock, to be honest.
Yeah.
Haddock. But yeah, before we beat them, we were on a 3-game losing streak against them. They'd done the double over us, and then I think they beat them. They beat us the Potter, Lampard, and whoever else.
Don't worry about that
Season.
Is the Champions League dream over if we lose or draw?
No, and I'll tell you why. Mate. Too many teams are just dropping points.
I'll tell you why, mate.
You look at Villa, right? They got a win.
Villa I'm not worried about Villa. Don't worry about Villa.
They got a win last time out, but form patchy. Yeah, patchy. Yeah. We're all waiting for Nottingham Forest to drop off, and maybe they don't. The longer it goes, man, the more I think no.
Do we need to start putting some money on them to win the league, just as like a Leicester kind of outside bet?
You know when Leicester won the league? Yeah. Really, it's going to be hard for you to answer this question without the stats in front of you, but like off the top of your head, did they have like any of their key names get injured? Like, say, for example, did they ever go a 5-6 game period without one of Wes Morgan or Robert Hoof or Kasper Schmeichel or Vardy or Riyad Mahrez or Kante or Drinkwater or Albrighton or something? I
think Mahrez might have been out for a couple, but I can't remember any of the big ones being missing.
Okay. So what I'm saying is this, yeah? If the two centre-backs stay fit for Nottingham Forest, if Callum Hudson-Odoi, if Anthony Elanga, and most importantly probably if Chris Wood, Morgan Gibbs-White, if they stay fit for Nottingham Forest, then I don't think we're going to see Leicester City. But I do think we're going to see them break into the top 4.
Wow. Okay, that's an interesting claim because
it's not really a hot take.
It's not really a hot take, but my hot take is that they're in a title race. If Arsenal are in a title race, Forest are in a title race.
If Forest are in a title race, we're in a title race.
Well, then there you go. We're in a title race.
There you go.
Jobs are good. And
can I just ask you, last time we beat Wolves at Stamford Bridge, do you remember when that was?
No.
You would have been there.
Of course. I'm there at every game.
There you go. It was a 3-0 win. Jogging any memories yet?
No.
I say you a player, an academy product, got the ball on the edge of the area. He takes one touch to manoeuvre it onto his right foot and he pings one in from the edge of the box. And I remember thinking, oh my God, this is brilliant because this man's going to be the second coming. He's going to be the Albanian Didier Drogba.
Was that Broja?
It was Broja.
Broja with the outside the area?
Yeah, that's just outside the area.
Really? When was that?
Pinged it in. 3-0 win we won against them. Kai Havertz scored, Broja scored. Can't remember who the other one was.
Remember that.
Other one was. I also remember a game when we drew against Wolves when Lukaku got a brace. One of them was a penalty.
One of the only goals he ever scored for us.
Yeah, there you go. So,
can we talk about the team, mate? Because this is a controversial one.
Well, I think
this is getting fucking serious now because what I think we used to do is that we tried to preempt a little bit of what Maresca was going to do, and I think we've torn that up.
Do you know what I think? I think that people will be probably more shocked at your team than they would at my team.
Your team isn't even that different.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through my team first, and then we'll go through your team, right? And we can discuss all of the speaking points. Now, I'll just say, before we do this, by the way, this isn't a pre-opted team of what I think Maresca's going to do or whatever. This is what I want to see. And I actually do think, by the way, that this team does have, something about it, some difference in here. Because I have switched things up ever so slightly in this team.
I think you should have kept with your original one.
Really?
Well, stick to your guns.
Nah.
And let me look, really smart.
Don't worry about that. Right, so you can see my team on screen now, but I'll quickly talk you through it. Robert Sanchez in goal. Reece James starting at right back. I am bringing Trevor Chalobah straight back in to that starting lineup where he will be paired with fellow academy product Levi Colwill. Cucurella at left back. Now, I know that Enzo Maresca recently in matches has chosen to invert either one at a time. Realistically, I think that I would like to see Cucurella inverting more this match and Reece staying back and supporting Trevor Chalobah and Levi Colwill. And then, here's where I'm changing things up. I am going with all three of them in midfield. I really do think that, despite a few people saying before that, Lavia sort of led to the goal and whatnot, Lavia was fantastic. And we dropped off massively against Bournemouth after Lavia came off the pitch. So I would have Lavia and Caicedo in that midfield, and I would have Enzo Fernandez in there slightly ahead of those boys. Not necessarily as an attacking midfielder, just slightly ahead of those boys. I actually think if you look at his goals and assists, his contribution this season, they have been a lot better. I know it's not his most comfortable position, but I do want to get all three of them on the pitch together. And that's what I'm trying to do here. Cole Palmer, for once, I am starting out on the right-hand side. I'm going to put Jackson through the middle, and I'm going to put Sancho on the left wing. Now, just before we discuss the team, I obviously do feel in this match like a lot of people will look at that team sheet and they'll say, we really need to be giving the likes of João Felix a chance in this game when he's played. He has looked good. He looked like a bit of a game changer when he came on the other day, although he wasn't able to score or anything. Obviously, he looked good against Morecambe. Many players look good against Morecambe. I would very much like to see Enzo Maresca make substitutes earlier on in this match. If he was to do so, I think that once again, Reece James could be one of those substitutes that comes off in this match. And then you might see Caicedo go over to the inverted role, something like that. That frees up the midfield. You might see Lavia come off because he's easing back from injury. But either way, I want to see João Felix featured in this match. I just think that little bit of change, and again, like, you know what I've done with this lineup, Josh, is I've looked at it, and can you tell me from that lineup a player that you don't trust? Because trust is where I've really gone. I mean, Robert Sanchez is the obvious standout contender. Yeah. But in terms of Reece James, Trevor Chalobah, Colwell, Cucurella, Lavia, Caicedo, Enzo, Palmer, Jackson, Sancho, I've gone... I know it's a little bit different, and I know that it's alternated a little bit. You can't speak too much, because wait till if I can see your lineup. but can you see...
Thanks for teeing that up.
Can you see why I've gone?
I can. So the only thing that... I really like your team. The only thing that I'm worried about with your team is, does it go in at half-time with 0-0? Like... what my point is those three in midfield... It's got a little bit of the era in which we were playing 3 DMs in a team. Was that the Tuchel era? Where we were playing like Jorginho, Kovacic, and then one other, Kante. And I just, we every time we played that, it just never worked out. We didn't get enough attacking impetus.
No, I mean, we only won a Champions League.
We won a Champions League with it, yeah, but, don't worry about that. Were we scoring goals is my point. And I think you've stunted the sort of the...
I mean, we beat Southampton 8-0.
Yeah, but you're stunting... Good point. You're stunting the attacking ability of this team by playing that in that way. And also, do you remember... What you've also got to remember is you're clogging up the area in which you do want one of the wing backs to invert. And if you're playing 3 midfielders, you're going to be blocking that area up.
I'm kind of not bothered whether they do fucking invert or not.
They're always going to invert because that's what Maresca's doing, though, isn't he?
Yeah, but if he's not, like, if it's not working recently, like, are you not saying, like, you wouldn't mind seeing maybe Trevor Chalobah do what comes quite naturally to him, shift across to the side a little bit, and Reece join in as an attacking threat to be able to whip balls in from that area?
I would
and
like
if you're
that.
Starting, by the way, if you're starting Cole Palmer on the right wing,
he can then drift in.
Reece and Palmer, mate. Reece and Palmer. You know the link up there is going to be good. Yeah. We already have seen that there's a real connection forming between Enzo Fernandez and Jadon Sancho. That's one that's going under the radar, but that's one that I'm seeing some great link-up play from those two boys. So I don't know. I feel like the main thing is, right, no one's going to agree with either of our lineups because it's very much a case of stick to your guns, yeah, and then if we don't win the game, complain that we should have changed things because it hasn't been working. Or stick to your guns, and then if we do win the game, go, trust the process. Yeah. So that's the predicament that we're both in.
The way that I liken your team is, I think you've gone, fuck, our last few results aren't that good. So what we're going to do is I'm going up a hill start and I'm going to whack the handbrake on for a bit and I'm going to just have a bit of defence and then I'm going to go for it. Whereas what I've done is the results haven't been good. So I'm going to now turn the handbrake off and I'm going to go chaos football. I'm going to go attack. I'm going to go score 4 goals in the first half, then bring on the defensive players.
Well, listen, you have just got these lot horny to see...
And then I'll also talk about the team.
Yeah, there you go. Why don't we do it so on screen right now we can see Josh's lineup. Why don't you talk me through it, mate?
I'll come clean right now. I've hit the panic button. I'm sorry to say it, but the performances haven't been good enough recently, and I do think we need to mix it up a bit. And I think a few players need a little bit of a wake-up call. I'm sorry to say it, but I think they do. So, the team sheet that I'm going to go with is Jorgensen in goal. Whoa, crazy, Jorgensen in goal, blah, blah, blah. Did you see Sanchez passing the ball out the other night?
He did make one bad mistake, but I do think on the run of play last 5 games or so, I think he's been much improved.
Fine, but let's be honest, he's not the future of Chelsea. We have this debate every fucking time. I'm bored of him. He's not going to be starting Chelsea week in, week out. Let's just move on.
I just think you just like Jorgensen because he apparently looks like me.
He looks like you. He looks a bit like Mudryk. He's probably my new Mudryk.
Yeah, cross between me and Mudryk.
Oh, what an exciting thing that is. Yeah. Then I'm going to go for Reece on the right, obviously. We'll get him straight back in. He's fit enough to play. Obviously, twinned with Trevor Chalobah, who I'm very glad you changed your team to include. Because if we're coming clean, you need to be honest and say that he wasn't in your team to start off with.
He wasn't in my original team
well,
before
there you go.
because I just forgot to even put him in. But
No, your favourite player. You don't forget your favourite player. You did that completely intentionally. Then I've got Colwill Cucurella, obviously. Then I've got Caicedo and, obviously,
Lavia. So, can I jump in here before we start to speak about your front line?
Oh.
I thought...
You can't wait. You're so excited to talk about this.
I thought that Enzo Fernandez played really well against Bournemouth, to be honest.
Yeah. What's the rationale? What's the rationale then for this? If you're guessing my rationale.
I don't know. Tell me.
I think that with Reece James inverting and Cucurella also looking to invert, depending on what side the ball's on, I think we've got enough creativity in those players to not worry about Enzo's passing range. And I also think, not dropping him, but I think having him out of the team for a bit might be good. So you get to see Lavia play a bit more. I agree with you. I thought Lavia played incredibly well. And also, what I would like to do in this game is, as I said, bag a few goals with the attacking prowess that I've got in front of these guys. Bag a few goals, then bring on an Enzo to shore up the game. So I'm almost going the opposite way around. I'm probably going 50 minutes. Lavia is pulled off, as he often enjoys. Enzo,
if you want to pull him off, you can pull him off.
Enzo brought on, and then we solidify from there.
Do you know what? I think in terms of bringing Enzo on around that time, that makes a lot of sense, because what I've noticed recently is in the second half of games, and it's a trait that I really, really felt we'd got over. And come the end of the season, it's going to be peaks and troughs, and we're going to go, oh, we flip-flapped and this and that and whatever. But
I love
that's the reason we do multiple podcasts per week, rather than just do one podcast at the end of the season, right? Yeah. Which wouldn't work. So come the end of the season,
it'd be a good podcast.
It would be a good podcast. Anything with me and you would be a good podcast, to be honest. Subscribe to Joey and Josh. Links in the subscription. But no, what I would say is, over recent weeks, would you agree that we have lost control of games in the second half?
I think we've lost control sometimes of games in the midfield, let alone just the second half. I feel like we've been played through quite often recently.
But I don't think that... I think that we destroyed Bournemouth's press in the first half.
We did.
And I think we were absolutely phenomenal at doing so. And I think we succumbed to it in the second half. And I would say that, again, around 50 minutes, that's where we lost control of the game. So say we were to start with that lineup and say that, Enzo Maresca's watching this right now.
He always does.
Which of course he is, yeah. 50 minutes would be a great time to then bring Romeo Lavia off and bring Enzo Fernandez on. And I think what that would do would give us a lot more control in the middle and be able to neutralise the game a little bit more than maybe it was.
Do you know what's really interesting? I just thinking about this. The amount of times we praised Malo Gusto last season for how well he was performing, he's not really in the conversation, is he, at the moment? I think there might be a small chance that if Reece James got injured, God forbid, I think there's a small chance that either Josh or Trev plays right back in this game.
Really? Do you know what I've always thought? And I think I've had this discussion with you off camera before.
Go on.
And I hate to say it. I don't want to say it. I love Malo Gusto. I want him to play for Chelsea for the next 10 years.
You're not going to say that he's going to go and play for a team in red, do you?
I honestly think that if Trent left... I think Liverpool would be watering at the mouth to sign Malo Gusto.
Yeah, I think they've got a good chance probably to get him. It's crazy, isn't it? What's
Malo Gusto worth
to Liverpool?
Yeah. Should we set it on 3?
3,
and we'll round it to the closest 10. Yeah.
3.
We're not going to do a random
3,
2, 1, 60 million. There you go. We are always on the same page, aren't we?
Guys, just to say that, we did not preempt that.
We don't preempt anything.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm very surprised you said that. I thought you'd go lower.
Nah, 60 mil.
He's worth 60 million.
Yeah, I think he is.
If Axel Disasi is worth 45.
But he's not worth 45. Malo Gusto actually is. And Malo Gusto in that Liverpool system would be great.
Who was the worst signing? Aubameyang or Axel Disasi?
I got a little bit of a soft spot for Axel Disasi. Seen him have a few good performances and whatnot. From a business standpoint, Aubameyang was a horrific signing because you literally signed him specifically for a manager. It wasn't a club signing. It wasn't someone you've been eyeing up. Wasn't someone you've been looking at and thinking, oh, he could do well. You signed him because there was a manager that said, do you know what? Regardless of his age and whatnot, I can get a tune out of this guy, and I can guarantee that between now and the end of the season, he probably scores us around 15 goals or something like that.
Yeah.
And what did you do?
Got rid of him.
You got rid of the manager 3 days later.
Can I just say, on that manager, I've never been more excited to watch England play than this very moment.
I know. Do you think Aubameyang will start for England?
I think if he could get him, he would get him. Put him in there. He would totally get him.
I'll tell you what.
He's going to have his favourites.
We are coming back to Josh's team sheet in a minute, but just quickly.
Yeah.
Tommy Tuchel.
We're going to do it.
No.
We're going to do it.
We are going to do it. We're going to win something under Tommy Tuchel.
Yeah.
But Tommy Tuchel, right? If he stays fit,
I know.
Reece James is
England
booting
captain.
Carl Walker out of that
Carl
England
Walker's done
team.
now anyway.
He's done for.
The question really is Trent versus Reece, and we know who's going to win that battle for Tommy.
Do you remember how I told you that Malo Gusto and Joshua Changpong can play on the same pitch, and you went, no, they can't do that. No, you're off your nut. No chance of that. Reece James and Trent Alexander-Arnold can play on the same pitch.
I think. By the way, I stand by that assertion. But I think that I agree with you though. I think Reece and Trent can play in the same team.
Yeah. Let's see.
Let's see. I can't wait.
Let's move on to your forward.
The front line that I'm going for is Neto on the left, Palmer through the middle, and Noni Madueke on the right. Mm-hmm. And then I've got Nicholas Jackson up top.
So
I was thinking about Mark Hughes.
Pedro Neto on the left.
Yes.
Obviously, you've spoke before about thinking that Pedro Neto is better as a right wing. I would agree with that too.
Yep.
I understand it, pacing behind and whatnot. I'm not going to ask you what Pedro Neto has done to justify starting. I'm going to flip it and ask you, what on earth is making you drop Jadon Sancho?
You've got to stop thinking about this in terms of dropping these players. I'm not saying that Enzo isn't a good player, and I'm not saying he won't start next week. I'm not saying that Sancho isn't a good player and that he won't start next week. What I'm saying is, for different games, you start different players. What Sancho is very good at is breaking down the low block. You know, he's very good at those intricate passes, beating players, getting a ball in, getting a shot away. Very, very good with the ball at his feet. You know, coming off the left-hand side, getting that shot away to his right. In fact, he nearly scored a brilliant goal against Bournemouth where he did exactly that.
Terrific little goal. Got blocked, though, in the end.
Terrific. Would have been a terrific goal.
Terrific.
What I'm saying here is, I want to just go for pure, out-and-out, unadulterated, pornographic attack.
Yeah, nice.
And, dirty. And what I want from filth. And what I want from that is Pedro Neto's pacing behind, attacking, aggressive, balls over the top. Lavia pinging a huge crossfield ball where Pedro Neto gets it on the turn, running in, shoots, goal.
Straight in the goal hole.
Straight in the goal hole. I want Cucurella on the other side, pinging a crossfield ball, going over the top. Noni Madueke running onto it, cutting back, beating a player, shooting on his left-hand side, Arjen Robben-esque. Mm-hmm. That's what I want. And I think that those two players are better than a Sancho for this game.
Okay.
Purely for this game. And that's all it is. It's a tactical decision. As Enzo Maresca would say, purely tactical decision, you know? Purely. Hey, it's
I could see with that, though.
Decision.
I could see a Wolves corner. I could see Sanchez coming out, grabbing it, or Jorgensen in your team, laying it straight
Rather
off.
have Jorgensen.
Laying it straight off to Reece James. Yeah. Reece James in that right-back position.
Yeah.
All the way back in his own half.
Yeah.
And just picking out a David Beckham pass to Pedro Neto on the wing.
I could see in this game Reece James picking up the ball about halfway, inside right position. The goalie's pushed up on their side. He's trying to get close to the defence. Nicholas Jackson's causing a bit of havoc. And Reece just shoots. Reece just shoots from the halfway line. And it sails over the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper falls back into the goal. And then we know
retires, never plays again. Football. Serious note.
That's a mad team, though, isn't it?
It is a crazy team. It's a crazy lineup. But you know what? I think
work?
I think I've gone more Galactico in terms of let's just get all our best players on the pitch.
Right, yeah.
You've gone more take the fucking handbrake off, pedal to the metal, and let's see what happens. Yeah, and the way we've been defending of late, I think it could be a little bit dangerous. But at the same time, to quote Tom Hardy, a shootout is a fucking shootout. And I back us in a shootout.
Who was he playing in that role?
Reggie or Ronnie?
Yeah.
Reggie Gray.
Well, he played both of them, so.
I came here for a fucking shootout. Like a Western.
You got to do it with one nostril closed. I came here for a fucking shootout.
A shootout is a fucking shootout. And I back Chelsea in a shootout against anyone.
Do you back Tom Hardy as an actor?
Right, so I'll tell you a story, right? I'm in Hobbledown, right? You've not heard of Hobbledown.
No idea what Hobbledown is.
It's a farm.
I usually just walk down.
In Epsom,
personally.
yeah? Hobbledown. I mean, a farm in Epsom, and they got a little soft play bit, right?
Didn't get that.
So, no, I got it. I got it. Not after a night of me, though. You will be hobbling down. Yeah, so I'm in this little soft play bit, and I'm running after my little girl and whatnot. And like, there's a few adults in the soft play bit because, you know, the kids want to go in there, but the kids are too young, and you don't want to leave them unattended and whatnot. Anyway, so there's this bloke, and he's there and whatever, and my kid's playing with his kid. And we sort of give each other, you know, the typical dad thing of just like, right, mate, like, yeah.
Back again.
Kids are playing together, but we don't know each other. But it's just like, all right, mate, whatever. And when I see him, I was like, all right, mate. And then he like went, yeah, you're right, mate. And I went, oh, what's happening? You all right? And I thought, you know, when you know someone, but you don't
familiar,
know them,
yeah.
And my first thing, you got to remember, I've not registered who it is.
Yeah.
What am I going to think? See a bloke that looks like him with my background, my life. Boxer. Straight away, I'm like, oh, he probably boxed up at Light to Box or boxed at Epsom and your ABC or whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, first thing I thought, like, obviously older looking, but just, you know, rough around the edges. I'm like, oh, he's a boxer, or, you know, I've put some drugs off him once or something. I'm joking. Allegedly.
You don't do all of that.
No, but that's my first thing, yeah? Then I've come out and everyone's going, oh, Tom Hardy's here.
Oh,
and I'm like, oh, it's Tom Hardy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's funny, yeah? So a few people are like going over and asking for pictures and stuff, and he's been nice, he's taking them, but I'm like,
no,
come on,
you don't
man.
do it.
Like, he's at a farm with his kids. Like,
it's wrong.
Don't be doing that.
Yeah,
like, I'd have never done that. And then, anyway, so there's a few of us there. Yeah, there's me. There's my pal James. It was his daughter's birthday, I think. James has got a twin brother, and there was maybe like one more. So it was like 4 blokes, yeah, all there. And obviously, none of us lot have, like, you know, tried to like do edits, just encroach upon his day out and whatever. And then everywhere he's going, people are spotting him and pointing him out and whatever. I kid you not, I promise you, swear to God, Tom Hardy ended up following us round that farm like a dog on a lead. Because
you weren't doing anything.
Because we weren't trying to talk to him or anything.
Fine.
So what I'm saying is, like, I feel like, because there's like a group of blokes there, and because he's well famous in the middle of this farm, and all these mums and everyone and whatever, he kind of clocked that when he was stood near us, none of us were trying to. I think we were like, oh, mate, like, whatever, whatnot. And as I say, my daughter was like playing with his daughter, so a few times I'm like, whatever, but I never acknowledged the fact of, like, yeah, it's very obvious you're Tom Hardy. Do you know what I mean? And I think he felt like we were a bit of like a safety blanket, where if he come and stood near us, then we, like, at least these lot aren't going to be asking me for pictures and whatever.
So when did he stop and ask you for a picture?
This is before I podcasted, and even now he wouldn't have a clue who I am.
He said, big fan of the pods.
Who do you reckon he supports, Tom Hardy?
I don't know if he's a football guy. I think he's more of a MMA boxing kind of chap.
Yeah.
I don't think he's into football.
Well, if he is a boxing kind of chap, maybe he does know me.
Maybe he wants to be trained.
There you go.
He's done a lot of fighting training in his time, I think, actually, Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I think he did have to for that film. Shall we cap this off with a score prediction? Josh, did we get back to winning ways here?
Yes.
Honestly.
Yeah, I think so.
That was a yeah.
No, as in like, yeah, definitely. I think we do. I think this is it. I'm going to go 3-0.
I went 3-0 for Bournemouth. And you know, when I was watching us first half and we opened the scoring in the 12th minute or whatever, 3-0. I thought, this is going to be 3 or 4. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's so hard with Chelsea at the moment.
We probably will concede if we're being honest.
We probably will concede. And I just think with the run of form and not being able to see out games and whatnot, not being clinical, I think it's really hard. So I'm going to go 5-2.
Wow. 5-2 is insane.
5-2
With Trevor
Chelsea.
coming back, I think there will be a little bit of a Trev factor here. And I think the narrative will be Trev comes back, clean sheet. Do you not think?
Could be, but I wouldn't mind it not being a clean sheet, being a 5-2 and Trev come back and scores a screamer.
Yeah,
Second
true.
debut, like it's one against Palace.
Do you think he starts in this game, realistically?
I'm so jealous of you that you're going to the game, and I'm not going to go to the game because I've been offered tickets. But you know what I'm like, man, I'm taking my boxing serious. And
Can you not go to the game and just not drink?
No,
That's so sad.
Have to have a drink up at Chelsea.
That's so sad.
Yeah, mate, it's Dutch courage. Everyone fucking knows me up there, and
Yeah,
it's
but
like if
that's
I go
fine.
sober, I'm like,
That's fine. Let's get you a cap.
no. Either way, I'm not going to the game.
That's
I'm
the
jealous of you because I can't wait to see the reception when they called out Trevor Chalobah's name.
I can't wait. I'll record it for you. We'll put it in the video.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant.
Yeah.
So I'm going 5-2. You're going 3-0.
I'm going to stick with 3-0 because I think Trev cleats the clean sheet.
Okay. People, Joey and Josh, the podcast is linked in the description. You have had 2 episodes off of us this week, or by the time this video goes out, you've had 1 this week, and you're going to get another one on Sunday on the Long Island serial killer. It's another true crime one. It is an absolute banger.
This story, by the way, Joey Knight special. There are twists, there are turns. There's a man getting caught for a crime because he ate a pizza. If that doesn't get you excited and want to watch the video, then I don't know what will. How the hell can you capture someone of a murder off a pizza?
Well, stranger things have happened, but I'll tell you how. By watching the podcast. That's how you're going to find out. People, thank you very much. Like the video, subscribe. I will see you all in the next one.